Welcome in Soul Family to today's Source First channeled card read and teachings. How are you today? How are you today? So I've already done a pre-shuffle and I have asked Source to use me as a clear and direct channel. Whoop, whoop. For those who are energetically aligned to receive this message. I've got my crystals out here today that you can see from yesterday. I had the selenite. I feel like I need a lot of selenite around me at the moment. Selenite represents the crown chakra, and it's like, well, especially the higher crown chakra or the soul star chakra. Think about that pure white light that we channel down as universal light force energy. It's all about clearing and amplification, spiritual connection. I like to think of the selenite as like a spiritual vacuum cleaner. It kind of cleans up all the detritus that's around yourself, your own aura, other crystals, environments. Very high vibrational, this one. And the other two are Amazonites. I've got a palm stone on a very small tower point. Amazonite, if you think about Amazonian warrior, you know, think about the courage and strength and truth. Amazonite was very synonymous with my first awakening. I used it a lot for the healing process that went with my initial spiritual awakening. Very, very powerful stone. Green represents the heart space. Again, working a lot at the moment with my heart space, my heart chakra. I think as part of the collective, it's coming up in my readings as well for intuitives that I follow. It's all about kind of the heart space being blown wide open, and we just need to finish clearing out the wounding that's there before we can move on to this next phase that we're all being faced with. Also backs up emotional and nervous system support. Well, it's a gift support and backs up the nervous and the emotional system, and also good for EMF radiation as well. So the first card out, and this card came out in the pre-shuffle, which is lovely. Spirit really means that you are to see it today when they bring it out twice like that. Starfish Spirit, be open to infinite possibility. So this for me is about not thinking small. It's really lovely that we have this humbleness about us as a collective. If we were power crazy, if we were very egoic and we hadn't had an ego death, or we weren't being presented with an ego death, we wouldn't be given the opportunities that we are spiritually to ascend and to awaken. It is part of the awakening process, the ego death, where we are almost ridiculously humbled to the point where we are kind of, oh, why me? But you know, we soon get over that, and we understand that it's our soul's contract this time around to come and do this work. So it's really lovely that we are humble, and that we don't, I'm not saying we don't have big aspirations and that we don't have big dreams. I'm not saying that. And Lord forbid me to say what anybody else should think. But be open to bigger possibilities. Don't think too small. Whatever it is that you've got on your mind where you want to go, double it, triple it. You cannot possibly understand what it is that Spirit has got in store for you. But we must just be humble. We must just accept. If we knew, if we could travel into the future in a year's time and we could see what is coming for us, there is no way that we would struggle now. There is no way that we would worry that we would have any anxieties, that we would have any doubts, any fears, any waylaid emotions about the situation. And Spirit is asking you to be open to that. You just have no idea what's coming. You know, we think, I always talk about this, that we are not a religious channel. Spirituality for me transcends religion. But I love this saying that man plans and God laughs. We think that we are going over here in this direction, and Spirit is like, no, we need you on this trajectory here. And they will course correct us to move us to be open to what it is that we're actually here aligned for this time around. I love that. And I especially love that it came out in the pre-shuffle, because they really do mean what they say. You know, we mean what we say. We brought it out twice. This is what we need you to be aware of in your conscious. And so working towards the angel numbers, so we've got 59, so that's a 14, and in numerology that's a 5. 1 and 4 is 5, which is about, you know, I always say it's like the halfway, isn't it, between the start of a new cycle and the end of the new cycle, where we've learned everything. So 5's like the midway point. It's like new beginnings. It's kind of like where you're releasing the grip on what it is that we're being directed away from, and we're embracing that possibility, that working towards the 10 end goal. It's about your freedom, because you're releasing and you're no longer stuck in certain behaviors, certain patterns. It's change, adaptability, learning to become something new, the new normal. It's a life transformation. It's about shifting gears and learning to release the old. It's a 5. That's lovely. Okay, then we've got Porcupine Spirit, 48, which is 14. No, it's not, which is 12. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which in numerology is 3. Get your calculator out, sir. Which is about creative expression, communication, joy, social connection, divine protection in angel number, and it's about your ascended masters being around you, really guiding you with all that spiritual support and encouragement. And the message is time for a beginner mind. Think about the porcupine, you know, it's a very solitary creature, isn't it? You know, and if anybody gets too close, you know, what are these called? The bristles, the pines, the points, you know, they're very, aren't they, you know, keep away. Very, very self-protective, very defensive, aren't they? Time for beginner mind is kind of like learning to think a new way, you know, not be so spiky. Maybe, again, opening with this heart space that I'm being drawn to at the moment, you know. Time for a beginner mind. We're learning anew. Think about when I talk about when we're babies and we're born, and we're not born with all these hang-ups. We're not born with all these wounds, these old wounds. We're not born with all these behaviours that we've learned through our own life experiences, but also from our caregivers and our society, from school, from family, immediate family and extended family. You know, we learn all this behaviour, and Spirit is asking us to have that beginner mind, where it's like we're refreshing ourselves, which ties in with the numerology 3, isn't it? You know, about that social connection, about your soul tribe. That's what I want to say. That's what I feel it's about. Yes, you may have had experiences in the past where people have not always come at you in an energetically aligned way. Let's call it that. Let's call it that. But now is a time that your soul tribe will start to manifest, and just ask for them. Literally ask for them to be called in, remembering that you have soul contracts with people, with other souls that you are energetically aligned with, to learn from and to teach in this lifetime. called them in. And it's time for a beginner mind to learn a new way of being. Let the old way go. Literally a rebirth. And the last card out, oh, I do love Panther Spirit. And we've got a 44, which is a master number. So you might have heard me talk about master numbers before, which is we go from 1 to 9 in numerology, but we do not boil down to one digit, the double digits, which, so 44 is about grounding. It's about, and think of that Panther Spirit, you know, it's stealthy, isn't it? You know, it's secure, it's very grounded, big physical animal. And it's about the inner strength, the 44, about building your secure foundation and endurance through the change, the changes that we've been experiencing with the awakenings, with the realization that there is more than what we've been taught. And the message is reclaim your power. Remembering that when we go against our soul's whisper, which is in your gut area. I'm sorry if I keep repeating myself, but there are people joining the channel, new people joining the channel every day. So I can just explain to people exactly what I'm talking about. But I suppose really, you know, if you're not sure, then you need to go back in the videos and just have a little catch up, or do a quick Google search to get yourself up to speed, for, you know, for those who have just joined. But it's about reclaiming your power. And every time we do something that we don't want to do, and I understand that we all have, you know, responsibilities, family, work, etc. But I'm talking about real, like when you feel it in your gut, in your solar plexus, when your whole body is kind of going, no, 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 yet we still do it to please another person. That is giving your power away. That is depleting your energy, our energy. And that is abandoning our own needs over somebody else's. And if we do not have our own backs, then who has? Reclaim your power. Only do what you want to do. Literally. Okay, we've still got to go to work. We've still got to feed the kids, empty the dishwasher, you know, do all the random household chore thingies. But, you know, I'm talking about real deep-rooted stuff here. This is not surface level stuff. So I need you to think about exactly what it is that you're saying yes to when you actually feel you mean no, and reclaim that power. You owe it to yourself. Thank you, Spirit, for channeling through me. Nice, powerful message there at the end. Remember, this is an energetic exchange. I love that you are sharing and subscribing and liking. This helps the YouTube machine to share the videos so that the rest of the collective can find them. Namaste.